Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends Void Build-A-Figure Wave Marvel's CRYSTAR. Is there another CRYSTAR who's not from Marvel? I've never heard of it. I've never heard of this guy, to be frank. Let me know, is he super popular? Do people know who this guy is? I have Marvel encyclopedias that I've used many times for various references and things, and I'm not familiar with this guy at all. So for all of you who like to say Marvel Legends is a line for kids, find me one. Find me a single kid, 14 and under, who knows who this character is prior to this figure being announced. I don't think you will. Anyway, this figure is surprisingly good for what I assume is not an A-list character. Very, very strange thing. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. Alright, before we look at the figure, let's take a quick look at my package. It is your standard front, looks alright. The artwork on the side, it's okay. I don't know if there's much to pull from for the artwork for the packaging. It's not the best, but maybe that's how he's always drawn, with that very stylized look. It's very 70s side of the van sort of artwork, airbrushed. You know what I mean? It's like that. There should be a dragon somewhere in this art is all I'm saying. But it's a fine package, I guess, if you like CRYSTAR. Okay, so let's talk about the figure itself. There we go. He stands to the top of his head, roughly 16.5 centimeters. Add another half a centimeter-ish for his little ear fin thingies. Helmet fin ears, whatever. 6.5 to the top of the head. And that's going to be about 6 3/4 for the helmet. Here he is up against Darwin, just a touch taller. All right, question of the day. Did you know who CRYSTAR was before this figure existed? And did you want a figure of him? I did not, and so I couldn't. Okay, let's talk about the aesthetic on this guy. It's pretty basic. There's no paint except for the head. None. I don't believe anything down here is painted. So we have the transparent blue plastic, which is mostly good, except it's not uniform. You can see the PVC parts very different from the ABS parts, which is hard to match, I know, especially on transparent plastic. I feel like they could have gotten a little bit closer. The legs are notably darker than the rest. Also, at least based on the artwork, he should be closer to white than he is blue, but I don't know how much that matters. The elbow joints and knee joints are definitely a different color. That is the result of pinless joints, guys. You all wanted it after they told you it was good. And now we have consequences. You can decide how much those pins would have stood out on this guy versus having elbow pads and knee pads. I personally think the pins would have been a better look. So no paint to really speak of except for the head, so let's look at that. We have the red on there, which is not bad. It's alright. Is this piece? I think this is a separate piece. Yeah, these guys are painted as far as I can tell, but this is a separate piece. And then we have the eyes, which are okay. So the paints that are there are okay. Now the artwork did show lots of like shading and stuff. He has none. Kind of a bummer. The body parts are shiny plastic, and then all of the red parts are matte finish, which is kind of a cool look, I guess. So that's okay. I guess there's no shading on anything. And that's it. So let's talk about the sculpt. I think they did a pretty good job with the body, except for one thing, which we'll get to in a second. I like all the faceting. They did a pretty good job of adding lots of faceting without it looking garish. Pretty cool. It's really hard to show without moving it. If I just hold it still, you're not going to notice a lot of it, but as I let the light bounce off of it, you get the idea. It's pretty cool. And I think they did a pretty good job for the head as well. So it's fine. The only thing that stands out to me is this region right here, his peeper region. Not because of the way they cut out his trunks, which makes it look kind of strange. I'll give him that. What is really the problem is his torso is not long enough. His arms and legs are okay, but his crotch doesn't come down far enough proportionally. It's not too bad, but you need another couple of millimeters down here. Who doesn't, right? But this guy definitely could use it. Not a huge deal, and I would definitely take this over what they normally give us. This is more in line with like a comic style drawing rather than a person in cosplay. So I'll take it. But if you're noticing something's a little bit weird about it, it's this area is just a little bit too short, specifically down here. But yeah, it looks pretty good for what it is. I'll give it a 7 because there's no paint. Sculpt is good, but no shading, no paint, nothing. Nothing? Nothing. Okay, so let's move on to the accessories. They did give us a couple this time. So in the package, he gets a fist hand and an open hand. That's fine. And then you also get 2 different gripping hands, and they have vertical hinges. So that's pretty cool. And you can use those hands to hold his sword, which is nicely done, and his shield, also nicely done. Pretty pleased with that. That is an acceptable array of accessories. I'm not impressed by it, other than for the fact that they came from Hasbro, but that is the bare minimum and an acceptable amount of accessories. So I will take it. I will give him a 7 for the accessories. All right, on to the articulation. Brand new body. I'm guessing they probably reused hands and maybe the gloves. I don't know. Also, can we just talk about the feet just for a second, because I forgot to mention it? Can we stop giving every character Crocs? Why do they all have these globular boots? These non-shaped boots. Comic characters almost never have feet that look like that. Almost never. Yet every figure from Hasbro looks like it's either wearing socks, like actual socks, or Crocs. Okay, let's get into the articulation. We're back to the hinge because Hasbro is like, we don't know how to do ball pegs. So yeah, you get your hinge. It's your basic hinge. Nothing impressive about it. Little bit of wiggle, but it's in the wrong location, so it looks weird. So that's fine. Shoulders, standard range, up to horizontal. I'll take it. Bicep swivel is fine. Double jointed elbow. No problem there, other than it's just better than 90 because of the glove. Let's see if we can trick it. Yeah, you can get a little bit better if you tuck that glove in, so that's all right. Then you're going to get your wrist swivel and hinge. Like I said, the gripping hands have a vertical hinge. Thank you. I've been asking for that forever, and we're starting to finally get it, so that's good. Ab crunch on this guy because they're still doing ab crunches. It's actually one of their best ab crunches they've done in a very long time. He doesn't become pregnant as a result of using the ab crunch. They actually designed it appropriately, which means it can be done. Now, going forward is kind of a problem because it messes with this piece right here, and I'm pretty sure it'll pop off. But he does lean forward as well. So yeah, it's solid ab crunch. Waist twist is there. You can't use it a ton because of this, but it's okay. And then for the hips, can he kick? He can kick up to just about horizontal. Going back, it's a little bit. Going out to the side, full on splits. Hey, they're actually learning. Thigh swivel is fine. Double jointed knee is okay. Proportioning, not bad. You can see we got our bottom of our foot basically lined up with the top of the hip. That is fine. And then for our ankle, it goes all the way back. And what the heck? Oh, there's some PVC on top of the hinge. All right, well, you can cut that away. If you have that on yours, you can just cut that away carefully. If you're a kid, use adult supervision. If you're an adult, use a knife. Or you might be able to just pull it away depending on how much there is. There we go. Nope, I didn't get it. So let's see. And you still get decent range. Okay, and then the ankle rocker is fine. So his articulation, albeit simple, is pretty effective. And that's usually the case. You can make pretty simple articulation pretty effective if you do it right. The only thing that's really a bummer on this guy would be the neck. The rest is, for this sort of articulation, pretty darn good. I'll give him an 8 for Marvel Legends. That's fine. Good range in most places. I will take it. All right, and now it's time for the final verdict. Clearly a new sculpt. Clearly, get it? He's transparent. It's a good sculpt. Overall, it's a really solid sculpt. It comes with decent accessories and the articulation is functional. I'm gonna give this guy an 8. I'm not gonna give it higher than an 8 though, because it still has mismatched plastic and no real paintwork to speak of. And it's still using dated articulation like the neck and ab crunch and various other things. But for Marvel Legends, it is a solid release, and if you were interested in getting it, I suggest you do. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos every day but Wednesday, and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.